Well, here we go again. We are now just about a day removed from the no indictment outcome of Eric Garner there in New York. Now what has happened? This man apparently gets choked to death. He even informs the police that he can't breathe. And they choke the living life out of him and they kill him. And of course, what happens again in this country? Again, the police again get off scot-free, no indictment. Amazing, isn't it? Now, let's think about this for a second. All right? I'm going to show you the type of immunity and impunity that these, how do you call them, law enforcement officials? I don't know what you call them. But you think about this. Now, suppose that, and this is, I'm going to give you an actual factual situation that happens and takes place. No hypotheticals. Suppose you see a police officer or two beating up a woman like we normally see here on YouTube. I mean, throwing haymakers. I mean, just wham, 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 wham. Just letting it happen. Just letting it happen. And really laying off into her. And there are 4 or 5 of you guys come along and you tell those officers to stop. And they, of course, they're going to tell you to back up, back away. You are interfering with police business or whatever you want to call it. But you see it as injustice. Now, let's think about this for a second. The people are the highest authority in the land. And I know this has all but been lost. I understand that they have authority from the state, but the state is under the authority of the people. The Supreme Court is under the authority of the people, which it's all but lost. But you watch this. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. So suppose these 4 men see an injustice taking place, like we see so many times, police brutality taking place. And suppose these 4 men, they decided they're going to break up this injustice. They're going to stop these police officers beating this woman on the side of the road like we see so many times on YouTube. And all of a sudden, one of these officers pulls a gun, and then one of these guys take the gun from the officer, and in defense of his life, he shoots and kills the police officer. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. In this system, if not one of them or both of them are going to get 20 years to life or probably even the death penalty. See, judgment is disproportionate. All of it is. It's just a sad situation. And you can forget about a grand jury because by the time the prosecutor comes up with all this evidence and twists, spin, warps the story and stuff, your ass is going to jail or you are getting the death penalty. And the main reason they're saying because you interfered with, they don't care. They don't care. And I tell you one thing, you can see here in the United States of America that the people are just sick and tired. They're sick and tired. But you think about this for a second. We are the masters and they are the servants. And yet all we experience is the end of the whip. That's all we get from the so-called justice system. And I think the people are really, truly all across this land is letting the whole world know enough is enough. And then we here in America champions ourselves as liberty and freedom fighting people. Our president has the audacity to go stick his nose into somebody else's business and tell them to leave the citizens alone, or they have a right to freedom of protest and stuff. And right here in our own backyards, the women get maced, they get beaten, the men get beaten and get maced, they get shot with rubber bullets, tear gassed, dogs are sicked on them, tanks, National Guard, right here. The double standard is just utterly amazing. And of course, mainstream news media is never going to ever paint this picture for you of the reality of what's really truly taking place here in this country. And so I tell you what's setting up in this country. A crossfire from hell is setting up in this country. We found out the cat has been let out of the bag, that they teach the police officers a shoot first doctrine in these police academies. That it's already documented and is proven, and like I said, it's already out. And you have to understand, these people are very fearful. And I think now that the people are no longer are submitting to the laws of this land, who people say that they are lawful and just laws, when it's really truly unjust, and there's not a balance of real true justice in this land at all. As a matter of fact, it's greatly disproportionate. I don't think that the people are playing this game of law no more. Really, they're just not playing it. They're tired. And it's going to continue to keep escalating. I would tell America, do not bite of the fruit of lies and get caught up in a race war, because that's what they want more than anything. And then, hey, Fox News and CNN, they're not going to help matters at all, whatsoever at all. I mean, it's just a mess. It's literally a mess. The deterioration of this country is just utterly amazing. Am I back in Wizard of Oz or something like that? Do I need to clap the heels together of my boots in order to wake up out of this nightmare that we all seem to be in? I have solutions. All you have to do is watch the ministry, pay attention to the webpage, pay attention to what I preach and teach, and you can get yourself free from a lot of this. I've been telling people for, I know, well over 20 years to get out of the cities, because look what all this stuff taking place at in the cities. All this stuff. I mean, I'm sure that there are definitely, a bunch of injustices going on. That happened here. I remember putting out a video, and I was thinking about doing another video the other day. We have a bridge over here, and there are disparaging comments written on this bridge. I called the sheriff's department, and I, at that time, I believe my daughter called the sheriff's department, and I called the road department, and I informed them about the disparaging comments. Now, I don't take it personally because they're not talking to me, but somebody else who drive by just may take it personally. But since, we live in a white county, and it's 99% white, and I do mean 99. I could throw a 0.5 in there, white. There's not an outcry of the disparaging comments that is written over it. Neither is there any motivation whatsoever at all for these people to act and to actually go and remove those disparaging comments. So you see, there's no justice in the land. I'm glad I'm informed. I'm glad I see clearly exactly what's going on, because, and with that means I feel anger like many people do, and I see clearly what's going on, but I'm able to control my anger and use it for a time that will probably come up, that I will have to end up using it. But the ideal is to maintain control. And don't let emotions run wild. That's the ideal, and that's wisdom now. But I tell you, over and over again, the way you beat all of this, the system and everything, people of America, is to starve this damn beast to death. And as long as you keep feeding the beast, as long as you keep functioning and doing things the way they tell you to do it, as long as you continue to keep going out and getting all their license for rights you already have, you seek their privileges for rights you already have, you keep on contracting with this wicked government in every state all across this land from one end to the next for rights you already have, you're going to continue to keep binding yourself. You're going to continue to feel like that you've been raped and you can't even resist the tyranny that is taking place against you. All I can do is, at the end of the day, is be a presenter of truth, let you really truly understand and know what's going on by, giving it to you. But hey, it's up to you. It's still ultimately up to you to make your own choices and decisions. The first thing you can do is get out of the cities. And I know all the excuses that people make. No, there ain't no excuses. I guarantee you that if a typhoon or a Category 5 hurricane or whatever else is getting ready to come to that city, I guarantee you'll evacuate. See, the problem is that you don't think it's bad enough right now to evacuate. And I'm telling you right now, it's extremely bad. It's a whole lot worse than what it was 10 years ago. And it's damn sure worse than what it was 20 years ago. And your preachers and teachers, they want you to stay in those cities because they want you to continue to fund their lifestyles. Because they have no stomach whatsoever at all to preach and teach the truth that I'm preaching in this Bible. It's written in the book. But you have to understand, there are certain verses and passages of scripture that these people will never touch on. And the reason why they'll never touch on it, because they don't have it even in their mind at all to obey, much less do anything that Bible says. So I've said it once, I said it 1,000 times. When you have people who claim to be preachers and teachers, ministers, or whatever they may be, and the Bible's full of subjects, I mean full of topics from one end to the next. But if they are concentrating mainly on like maybe 6 to 7 only subjects and areas of concern, and they're leaving all of this undone, then you just pretty much got your answer of the type of people who they are and what they believe to be the gospel or the good message is. And my suggestion to each and every last one of you is do your own due diligence. Test, prove, and try everything, every word, every person, every being. Listen to what people say, but then weigh their spirit, weigh their heart. But before you can do that, you first have got to be able to remove the beam that is out of your eye. And because when the beam is in your eye, or the beam that is in your eye, but when the beam is in your eye, it's difficult for you to see the mote that is in everybody else's eye. And when everybody's running around with these big gigantic logs in their eyes and the vision is impaired, nobody has the stomach to do that, what we will call right. But I tell you, the solution is, if you are a believer in the Messiah, is get out. Get out of the city. Come out of the cities. Come out of her, my people. You ever heard that before? Come out from among them. Have you ever heard that before? Huh? So I'm telling you, that you are being set up for the slaughter in these population centers. If I was to mention to you a mutual assistance group, many of you have no unearthly idea what that is. And neither do you care either, because you're enjoying your plush, easy lifestyle there in the city. I mean, really. And excuses, none whatsoever at all. It's all it's going to do is keep you in the same place you're in now. But hey, go ahead and continue to keep suffering. You're not going to get any justice at this abusive government that we've all seemed to find ourselves faced with. This is not a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. And you know, it's amazing because a lot of times in the videos, I often turn to these documents right here. And the more I read these documents, the more I realize, when I look at function here in this society upon this earth, that this law, or this particular government that is set up here in the United States of America, they don't care one bit about what's written in here. They have another constitution that they're operating by. They don't care nothing about the Declaration of Independence. None whatsoever at all. None of this. All this is Charmin and Huggies. That's all this is. Charmin and Huggies. And both of them have a job. And both of them have a job too. And that's pretty much both of these are in the eyes of this particular government that we are in right now. This is not the United States of America. No, it ain't. This is a business. And the people who are in control of the business of this country, the president of this business, this corporation called the United States of America, as well as the rest of these officers and administrators and everything, they're running. Hey, business is good for them. Their pockets are being lined. Special interest group pockets are being lined. The corporations' pockets are still being lined. Laws will continue to be passed. And the people who keep, these people are deceivers. I know I'm jumping thoughts here. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, legislation. It's a farce. Again, come out of her, my people. Come out from among them. And be ye separate, saith Yahweh, and touch not the unclean thing. Then he said he'd receive you. Now, if you don't want to obey what that says, stay right there and get exactly what's coming to you, because all you're going to get is the hammer.